The subway was nearly empty, just the hum of the tracks and the dull glow of fluorescent lights. She was already there when I stepped inside, a woman sitting perfectly still, like she wasn't part of the movement around her. No sway with the train, no shifting in her seat, just stillness. When I sat across from her, she smiled, not with her mouth, but with her eyes. And then, without a word, she leaned forward and slipped me a card. It was blank, smooth as glass, no numbers, no names. Just a single QR code etched so dark it looked like it bled into the paper. In the corner, 4 words barely visible in the fluorescent flicker: grind, elevate, manifest, ascend. The kind of mantra you'd see on a wellness blog or some self-help seminar. But something about the way it shimmered made my stomach twist, like the words weren't printed, but alive. I should have dropped it. I should have left it there on the floor of that train and walked away. But I didn't. Curiosity isn't a choice. It's a hunger. I lifted my phone, scanned the code, and the link opened instantly. A black screen, a single button. Enter. The train jolted, the lights overhead flickered, and in the reflection of the window, I saw her watching me, not with curiosity, not even with malice, but with expectation. The unraveling. The subway changes. When I pressed it, my phone camera switched on by itself. The tiny green light burned in the darkness, and then the messages came. "We've been waiting." I looked around. Every passenger, the tired office worker, the man with a newspaper, the kid with headphones, had turned their heads toward me, their faces pale, their eyes glowing faint white, like moths drawn to flame. The woman was gone. Her seat sat empty, but I could still smell her perfume, sharp, metallic, like blood warmed by electricity. Another message appeared on my phone. "Stand up." I didn't want to, but my legs rose. The train slowed, but the doors didn't open. The lights outside the window weren't tunnels or stations anymore, just endless black streaked with faint shapes, like bodies floating in a void. One final line glowed on my screen. "Open your mouth and let us in." I tried to resist. My jaw ached, teeth grinding, but it was no use. Slowly, painfully, my mouth opened, and something moved inside. Not air, not breath, but a shadow that poured like smoke and settled in my lungs. When I woke up, I was lying in my own bed. No subway, no passengers, just silence. The card was still in my hand, only this time the QR code was gone. The surface was blank, but the words remained, pulsing faintly in the dark like embers that refused to die. Grind, elevate, manifest, ascend. And sometimes, when I sleep, I hear the sound of that subway door sliding open, but I don't remember ever getting off. I told myself it couldn't have happened. The subway, the woman, the glowing eyes, it was too vivid, too cinematic. A dream, I thought, nothing more. But the strangest part was how real it felt in my body. My jaw should have ached from being pried open. My chest should have burned from whatever slipped inside. Yet when I woke, there was no soreness, no marks, not even the memory of pain. Only the card. The card. Left behind. It lay on my nightstand as if it had always been there. White, blank, harmless, at a glance. The QR code was gone, erased. But in the corner, the words remained, faint as breath on glass. Grind, elevate, manifest, ascend. I should have thrown it away, burned it. But every time I tried, my hand froze. It didn't feel like paper anymore. It felt warm, like skin. Paranoia creeps in. I left the card at home and went about my day, but the world didn't look right. On the radio, between stations, I heard voices whispering the mantra. In the hum of fluorescent lights at the office, I swore the flicker spelled it out in Morse code. Scrolling online, I saw it hidden in comment threads, woven into usernames, buried in the captions of random videos. 4 words chasing me everywhere. Grind, elevate, manifest, ascend. The body betrays him. That night, I stood in front of the bathroom mirror and caught my reflection moving a fraction too late, lips mumbling silently, out of sync with me. I pressed my mouth shut, but still felt the vibration in my throat, like a second voice rehearsing inside me. The taste of copper sat heavy on my tongue, metallic and wrong. It was as if something had slithered in and was practicing, learning how to wear me. The return, the woman. And then she returned. I woke to find her shape at the foot of my bed, the same stillness as on the subway, the same perfume, sharp and metallic, filling the room. This time, she didn't hand me a card. She didn't need to. She leaned forward, her voice spilling into the dark, not hers, not one voice, but thousands overlapping. A static choir, telling me a story I wasn't ready to hear. She leaned closer, her face half lit by the glow of my dead phone screen, and for the first time, she spoke. Not with her own voice, but with thousands, layered and ragged like static pressed into human words. She told me about the first man who scanned the code. The first man. He wasn't chosen. He wasn't cursed. He was just ordinary. A stranger on a train, lonely and curious. They handed him a card, the same as mine. He scanned it without thinking, but instead of a web page, he opened a door. His body stayed behind, still breathing, still walking, still smiling, but his mind bled out into the signal, stretched thin across wires, satellites, screens. He became a parasite, multiplying through every transmission. A shadow hidden in every whisper of static, every glitch between frames, every silence on the line. The world carried him without knowing it, and the more people looked, the more he spread. The infection. She said every time someone sees the mantra, they're not reading words. They're seeing him, his hunger, his will, grind, elevate, manifest, ascend. That isn't a motto, it's a sequence, instructions, the rhythm of how he consumes us, layer by layer, memory by memory, thought by thought. And once you've read it, once you've said it, you've already invited him in. The code isn't ink, it isn't digital, it's alive, and it's patient. The realization. The room grew colder as she spoke. Frost bloomed along the window pane. My breath fogged in the dark. In the glass, my reflection began to smile. But I wasn't smiling. My lips stayed still. His grin stretched wider, teeth too white, eyes glowing faint. I felt the mantra pounding in my chest, sinking with my heartbeat. It wasn't mine anymore. It was his. She leaned so close I could feel the static of her breath scraping against my ear. And she whispered, "Now you'll carry him too." The collapse. When I blinked, she was gone, but the card was there, lying where she'd sat, white as bone. My phone lit up, screen cracked, battery dead, and yet a single notification glowed. Welcome to Jima. I don't know if I ever scanned it. I don't know if I ever left that subway. But the words follow me. They live in my bones now. I taste metal when I swallow. I hear the hum of wires in silence. Sometimes when I laugh, it's not my laugh. Closing, the mental hospital. So here I am, doctor, sitting in your white room, under your bright lights, telling you a story you don't believe. But listen closely. You've already heard the words. You've already let them in. Grind, elevate, manifest, ascend. It doesn't matter if you think I'm insane, because the moment you repeat them, even in your head, he'll know, and he'll find you, just like he found me. Believe it or not, doctor, the choice is yours.